And we live with the man himself, Dante.
How are you, man?
I can't complain. Very nice to have you in our studio. Very nice to have you on our podcast, and I'm excited.
Same here, man.
I'm excited. I'm jumping out of my skin.
Hey, let's get it going.
We finally got you on our show. We've been talking about this since bucket list days.
It's actually great to be on. We spoke about this a while ago.
Yeah.
And we're actually doing it now, so yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's all about action, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all about what you do and what you do not do, and I think
content pushing, man.
I think this is where we are right now with our business.
Absolutely.
And with businesses, we're stepping into the future.
Okay. Content pushing. It's all about content nowadays, man.
Yeah, this is how it goes. So what I wanted to ask you today is I wanted to kind of get into the mind of an entrepreneur. And entrepreneur is a very diverse statement. And what I want to say from this is that people that are stepping out of the 9 to 5, people that are stepping out of the constant loop of a day job and actually trying to source their money themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And this is what Bongo and I, your mother's favorite producer, has been talking about this last while is we see so many success stories, and we live in an age of instant gratification, and we want to hear the story leading up to. You know what I mean? And I couldn't think of anyone better than yourself to be interviewing right now, because you've done it. You know, you've been a young father, you've been a young entrepreneur, you've been a young artist, you've been a young producer, mixer, master. Long story short, you're a jack of all trades.
Yes.
I love it.
Definitely.
I really love the diversified portfolio that you bring across. And with the Forex as well.
Definitely.
You know, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So what I wanted to ask you is where we're going to jump off of this whole diving board into the pool is, where did your journey start?
The journey, I think the journey started back in the days of like the dip and the dancing, you know what I mean? In Welkom up in town.
Yeah.
So I think that's where sort of I kind of realized that I'm really for the arts, you know. A lot of people started saying, no, when I was younger, I used to love, singing Michael Jackson. I'm in the same lane, you know what I mean, boy. I've always had an ear for music. I've always loved music. I've always loved performing in the arts, you know what I mean? And this all came from just being surrounded by music as a child. You know, the Michael Jacksons and the Luther Vandrosses and all.
Well, I mean, since I remember, you've been doing the block party at St. Andrews.
Yeah, we also
you've been organising events at St. Andrews. We all St. Andrews boys, by the way. So
that's where it started, my boy. So it started there, but I knew I had a voice to begin with. You know what I mean? But I wasn't as confident as most about it. You know. And then when I started realizing that, hey man, I could actually do something with this voice, is along when I've gone to like high school, you know what I mean? And then obviously I still dancing. But the real proper journey, I think I can start the story off proper, is when I went to NSA. Yeah, so that's like my origin story.
So that was when you decided, you know what, I'm gonna take music as a career path.
Yeah, I'm gonna really dive deep into the arts. When I went to NSA, and I think that's where you can start the story at NSA. Yeah. Definitely.
Well, when I heard that you were going to NSA, and I knew this was the line in which I could see you.
Yeah.
And we've spoken a lot about this now this last while. Me and my girlfriend, my lovely girlfriend Lucy, and we have these deep conversations a lot about what young people think is a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
And it's a relevant conversation in this. It's how long are you willing to put yourself under like constant scrutiny? Because this is what we get as young people. Like, look, I'm doing an online show.
Yeah.
Your parents are like, yeah, that's not a real job.
How does that make money? Yeah.
I'm trading Forex.
That's not a real job.
Yo, that's not a real job. You know what I mean? And 5 years committing to an idea is a big thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially at this age.
So being able to kind of see what you want and kind of get into the field when you're younger, that you love, it's a blessing. It really is. And it's a few of my friends have spent hundreds of thousands of rands on their education, and they stop studying and then they end up doing something totally different.
Totally different, yeah.
Because we as individuals, we get pushed from school into a world where we need to instantaneously make decisions and decisions that we can't comprehend. It's 5 years to 10 years.
Not
to
even sure if it's the right
30,
decision.
to 30 to 40 years of your life. You know what I mean? And how can young people make those decisions correctly?
And live by them still.
And live by them.
Like I always say that when your parents send you off to school, wherever the case may be, bro, 50% of you is to like, actually get there and do what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
The other 50% is do what you want to do. You know what I mean? And a lot of people want to wait until they're done to get that going. No, bro. Yeah. You're going straight that side to start. You know what I mean?
And I think you very early on in your life figured out your individuality.
Yeah, I did. I really knew that, dude. If I can get myself into that big city called Joburg, I want to just start running with it. You know what I mean? And I'm so fortunate that the school that I was in allowed for that to happen. You know what I mean? National School of the Arts has a lot of reach. You know what I mean? And when I was in the school, from 2009 up, that's when I got there in 2009. To be a student at NSA, like when you're just walking around, you know what I mean? To say that could open jobs up for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it could put you in front of the line at an audition type things like that. So I really used NSA like to my fullest advantage. You know what I mean? When I got there, the rule in NSA was that they have these every single year. There's something called Festival of Fame, right? Huge festival, used to be sponsored by Standard Bank, if I'm not mistaken, where they invite different schools, and the school just basically puts up an entire show, music, dance, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So the rule was at that point, the tradition of NSA is that the main school musical, the show, right? The matriculants are the ones who get the first role, like you know what I mean, like the main roles. And then everybody gets the other roles going accordingly, right? Yeah. I'm going to tell you now, this is the funniest thing. This is the dopest thing that happened when I got to. This is how I knew that I'm actually for this shit. Yeah. So, Jay goes down to, he gets into NSA, this brand new boy from a very small town. I get to this big school where everybody's talented, literally from left, right, and center, right? Now there's this thing called the main school musical play, the biggest production. A lot of money goes in, a lot of effort, a lot of time. So one of my teachers at the point, she's like, hey dude, why don't you just audition for it just to be part of, you know, like a show, it's a musical, so why don't you just audition and try? Okay, fine, I just auditioned and tried. Now, I walk in, I audition, and then you need to have like a partner, female. I walk in with a female, I audition with her. As I walk out, I realize there's no guys, right? Yeah. And then I help the second girl audition, right? And I get out, I have the third girl audition. I go out, I help the fourth girl audition.
So you were just on this?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then the guys started arriving, right? And I'm like, oh, thank you God, my work here is done, right? I leave this audition, I go back straight to my room. I had no friends at the point in time. Bro, I wake up the next morning and I walk out, I'm going to my like our faculty, right? And like just random people like, dude, come check, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm into the musical. I'm probably like some guy in the corner, you know what I mean? I'm probably like somewhere in the musical, bro. I get to this list, and by that time I hadn't even known that part of the school, right? That's how new I was. I get to this list, there's this big list, bro. Right on top, the first name was mine. Wow. And I got the lead role. It had never been done by someone who was that new. Yeah. When I saw that name, I was like, nah, I have to do this.
That feeling.
I was like, yeah, this is probably what I need to be doing with my life. Yeah.
You know what? I didn't want this to be a normal uptight interview. I wanted you to be in the state that we were last night, and whenever we hang out together, you know, we just in this vibe where like whatever you say, whatever my opinion is, we vibe.
We just vibe. I mean, these are conversations that we have almost like all the time.
Almost all the time.
Yeah. So.
And I mean, you know what? It comes down to surround yourself with the kind of people that you want to be, and you will be that.
That's heavy.
And
surround yourself with the kind of people that you want to be.
Yeah. And this is where we're at right now. You know what?
All right.
How's it going, Facebook?
Good.
Welcome back. We are with Donnie, the Beast.
AFRODON.
Yes. Vibes different.
Always.
And the vibes are always good when Donnie's in the studio.
Always.
Always love chatting to you. Always have the deepest of convos and the weirdest of times.
The weirdest of times.
But you know what? This world is weird. Sometimes you need to find control in the most chaotic situations. Yeah. And sometimes I find myself 3 o'clock in the morning after a serious night out with you. And clarity is always found.
Yeah, dude. And we can, like, I think it's the fact that we can have the conversations in the middle of a group.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so cool.
Yeah, 100%.
Surround yourself with people that you can just like, during group, be like, bro, I just had an idea. He goes, bro, let's talk about it.
100%.
Just surround yourself with people.
So let's get back to the point now. We were talking about your NSA schooling career, and then we got more onto the point of what has been your lowest moments and your highest moments. You know what I mean?
I was continuing that story. So I'm in 7th Street, and I'm like, okay, let me try to find a club, any club, right? You know what I mean? That's just gonna say yes to this idea.
Yeah.
Bro, this is gonna be the funniest thing. So there's a club called, I think, Liquid Blue, right? Liquid Blue at the time. I don't know if it's still called Liquid Blue. So no, bro, the guys at Liquid Blue are like, yo, listen, man, you want to do this thing? Let's do it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Gave you a shot.
They gave me my shot, but they just let me have the place, bro. Like, dude, I kid you not, dude. The night of the show, I had to organize transport. Now, mind you, dude, I know no one in Joburg by the time. I had to organize transport for the people that I lived with at hostel, because that was my crowd. You know, that was my crowd. I had to get those people to Liquid Blue, right? Mind you, all of us are not even of age, dude. We get to Liquid Blue. The first thing is that everybody now disappears. Get the excitement of being out.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Dude, I'm responsible for everyone. Everyone just disappears, dude. I get there, I realize that they don't actually have a sound system. They just have a speaker system just like connected to the corners of the roofs. I had to go back to the school, fetch my speakers in my room, dude, just so that I can use them to project the sound. I connected my microphone to like my speaker. Dude, it was so weird, but somehow I got it done.
Yeah.
I managed to perform.
Yeah.
They didn't even have stage. I managed to just grab like a corner of the room and I performed. And I remember like at that point, now I'm like, okay, fine, the show is done. Now I need to get everybody home. All of a sudden now the transport people are not answering. Bro,
chaos.
It was, we had to walk back to the school. Like, dude, it was, and like Melville is kind of far to walk from like, from Melville to Braamfontein. And it's a bunch of kids. I just did my show. Like half of them, obviously, people drank. Bro, that was intense. That was intense. But I got it done. I planned my first launch.
Yeah.
I got it done. I gave out 300 CDs.
Wow.
That night. And the previous night, I was, you know, when you used to write CDs on your computer. Yeah, like I printed 300 CDs. I think my computer broke even that night.
Shit.
So I had to go borrow someone's laptop.
That's how it goes.
And I messed up his CD-ROM. But I got it done. I gave out 300 CDs, I remember. And a few months later, I was just walking around in Braamfontein and a few gents were like, yo, you're that kid with the launch. That was dope. You know what I mean?
Bro.
And that's why you do it. That's why we do it, bro. So that, among other stories, was one of the low moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was confused, but I was young enough not to care.
Yeah.
But I got it done. Yes, that was dope. That was pretty dope.
Oh, fantastic. And I think maybe getting onto the Jägermeister point, that would have probably have been your I'm breaking through the veil kind of a thing, you know what I mean?
Jaeger was dope, man. Jaeger was amazing. It was, I at the time we started a band called African Bass Cartel.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Myself, CM Tanda, Keys, and A Kings.
That was awesome.
That was amazing, dude. So,
your guys' content online, like your visual content.
It was intense.
Dude, it was so aesthetic. It was so freaking dope. Like, I don't know, just the kind of vibe that you guys were giving was a real South African vibe, but it was a South African international
sound, and like image.
Yeah, that's what it was.
We were trying to, well, the image, not even the image, the vision that we had for African Bass Cartel. I'll tell you how it led to African Bass Cartel, kind of like this banding, right? So we formed this band. First, it started with myself and A Kings. We formed this band. Dude, we were doing some crazy sound back then. We were experimenting with Bakanga music and like with trap. You know what I mean? We were trying to find something that sounded
just going through.
You know what I mean? So we were like, we even took some Maskandi music and we did it with trap. It was intense. I remember the tracks that no one knows of are the ones that started African Bass Cartel. We were trying to even make it a brand new sound, right? We're like, but you need to present it with more people. That's how we formed the band. Yeah, so that was intense. I don't know if you want me to lead to like the Jaeger thing, but I started with a guy called A Kings, still one of the best producers I know till this day, dude. And that was the aim and vision. We didn't even know it was gonna get to Jaeger. You know, we just started as like, yo, bro, you're dope, I'm dope, and we were in the same school at the time, MND Sound College. And I was like, yo, bro, everybody says on campus you're dope. And I'm like, well, everybody says on campus you're dope. I'm like, here's the thing. Instead of being against each other, let's form something. And he's like, yeah, let's try to do it. Bro, after that, it was history, bro. It was history after that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was crazy, bro.
You guys just took it to the next level.
Bro, that was amazing.
And that next level being
Jaeger. Yeah, being Jägermeister.
You know, let me ask you maybe a little bit of a question I haven't asked you before.
Yeah.
How did you separate from the African Base Cartel and go out on your own? What was the decision that led you to, look, I am Dante and I want to be recognized as my own artist. I want to be recognized as an individual right now, not African Base Cartel.
So we won Jaeger, right? Which is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
We won Jägermeister.
That's $1 million, by the way.
Is it
That is a good question.
That is.
That's what we all want to know.
No. I can't disclose how much Jaeger gave us.
The post said $1 million.
It did not. I wish it was $1 million, bro. It was some money. I really can't say. It's never really enough, but I really can't disclose that kind of information.
Let me ask you the question. Was the money worth was the money worth the loops that you had to jump through?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But look, I'll say it like this, right? What Jaeger gave us was, I mean, bro, the country was looking at us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole country. That was the first time. I remember. This is a really cool story, and shout outs to my big brother, Pretty Ugly. There was a show a few years later at Vanity, right? Where at that time he was with Ambitious already, right? And I'm just there to watch. You know what I mean? I can't remember what was happening there. I can't remember what was happening that night. But I think I was with a few of my friends. CT, also a great producer, and Ambitious was performing that night, right? Ambitious performs. It's dope. I'm like, oh look, there's Double MT, there's Saudi, there's whoever the case may be. I'm like, hey, this is Pretty Ugly. And then somehow, then they just all went to like VIP. Everybody drank. It was time to leave. Cool. And we also leave at the time when Ambitious is leaving, right? We were basically there just to watch Ambitious. It was dope. And as we walk out, Pretty Ugly comes to me. He's like, bro, I'm like, what? He's like, you're not just gonna pass me like that. How are you, bro? I'm cool, bro. What's up? He's like, oh, you're under the impression that I don't know. He's like, African Base Cartel, what the? That's was like,
Wow. Okay.
That's crazy. I'm like,
shit.
Back in my mind for that second, I was like, everybody really watched that shit. You know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, bro, I know you.
I watched that shit.
You know what I mean? I was like, when you're on stage and you're at the event and you really like running through the show and whatnot, you don't realize how many people are actually watching you guys. You know what I mean? So when he said, yo, bro, that shit was dope and congratulations. I was like, this is actually quite a thing. We weren't aware. Yeah, we weren't aware that many people knew us. You know what I mean? And shortly after that, we started getting like weird things. Like we would be walking in the street and everybody would be like, yo, ABC. And then we'd see like an ABC t-shirt, an ABC cap and all that from people we don't even know. You know what I mean? Tony Mac also, he's in Morafe currently. He also did a track with them, shout out. And he was like, dude, y'all sound just dope. Dude, it was amazing. Like I couldn't believe that's the reach that happened after we won Jaeger. And we hustled for Jaeger today.
I believe you, bro. You guys had some competition.
Dude, we were going up against 40,000 artists in the whole country. And we didn't just get to top 20, top 10, top 5. We ended up winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, dude? For me, the odds, I was like, bro, if we just get into top 5.
Yeah.
Bro, when they announced us, I was losing my mind. I was like, do you guys... I remember we were sitting in my flat at the time, and we were, on top 5. Look, dude, we worked our ass off to get top 5. I was shocked with top 5. And then, also that night, WHP he came to speak to us, and rest in peace to that man. He came to speak to us, and he said one thing. He's like, he huddles us up because he's pretty big. And he huddles us up in the club, and he's like, I need to tell you guys something. What the hell is WHP going to tell you? He's like, why are you here? What do you mean, why are we here? He's like, why are you guys here? For the competition. He's like, no, you don't know what I'm trying to say. You guys don't need this competition. You guys were going to make it without it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, bro, you guys would have killed it without it. He's like, it doesn't matter what happens from here. Your guys' sound is already on. He's like, dude, don't even worry about these competitions. Just go. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
And when Java told me that, yo, dude, it was, all of it is overwhelming because literally, when they tell you it kind of happens overnight, it was not alive, dude. You know what I mean? It really happened. Next thing now, we're taking shoots with like 50 people on set. You know what I mean? On the roads of like, on the streets of like Braamfontein. Then you see Agostino Magolide, they're shouting you guys out. It was weird. Next thing you guys are performing at a rooftop. There's Jack Sparrow. Like, it was intense, dude.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So in like a week, we went from really, really talented kids to like Jägermeister ambassadors. It was dope, dude. So yeah, that was the peak. After that, like, I walked with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. I was like, yeah.
But you earned it.
Yeah, I was like, I think this is pretty dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so that was swag, man. That was like one of the peaks of my career.
Lovely.
Yeah, that was dope, dude.
So far.
And then I think you were gonna ask me about how we went our separate ways.
Yeah, this is the question that I don't think a lot of people ask is
How did you guys-
what led you to
You got a question, bro? Yeah, go ahead.
Can I get the mic? I'll be the ghost guy from now. So you
Yeah,
see
this is
who
the
I am.
Ultralord speaking, your mother's favorite producer.
You know I gotta say it all the time, bro. But they know.
You're aware.
All right, but like I want to ask, how did you sound? Like I said, I heard you guys from the beginning. Believe it or not, I was like like I followed you like a lot during
Shout
like,
out. Thank
the
you so much
beginning.
for it. Yeah.
You were actually one of the guys that like brought me into the whole production side. That's why even in the beginning when I kept on you gotta come to my studio.
Yeah,
you
yes,
gotta
I
work
remember
on that
those
kind of
chats,
stuff.
boy. Look where we are now.
Now it took how long?
Yeah.
How many years?
How many years? Yeah.
But we're here now. Just tell me, how did your sound like evolve specifically? Because I remember you were working on a rock track before.
Yeah.
Then you did that Maskandi hip hop stuff, and then like, you did a lot of like African sound. So can you tell me in the beginning, what was the song, the sound that you guys like as a group going for, and how did it evolve now to you doing like K-Ton Rocha kind of sound and all this like indie, I guess indie house,
yeah.
European house kind of vibe?
The sound, to be very honest, what we were trying to do with the sound is that we heard all these international guys, right? We heard there's a guy called Illmind, there's a guy called Dapi, K-Janada, obviously in them, right? And we were really heavy in this sound. Funny enough, even before a lot of people even knew it. I've been bumping those guys, the whole of Selection, since 2013, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before anybody even was messing with it. So we were so in love with the sound, bro, right? We were in love with it so much, we wanted to have something like that, but ours. And then I remember I was sitting with A-Kings and I was like, bro, what makes us different from these guys, right? Yeah. A-Kings was like, bro, that's a difficult question. Bro, we even, you know what happened? We used to vibe a lot, right? So he's like, bro, tonight we're going to have like a young party at your place, right? Right after I asked him that question, I was like, bro, how are we different? He's like, okay, fine. Then he's like, bro, let's have a party.
Yeah.
He's like, but let's invite the most Afrocentric people that we know, right?
Yeah.
So we invited a lot of guys who were doing designing. We invited a lot of guys who did like fashion, a few vocalists here, you know what I mean, a few poets here and all of that, right? Because we wanted to create some sort of ambience so that we can get some sort of inspiration.
Yeah.
Cool. So we invite names, but we invite cats, we invite a few of the people that I just mentioned. Now the room is filled with just like beads
Just
and
artistic
people, and tattoos and loops in their ears, you know what I mean, and hairstyles that are going all the way to the roof.
Yeah.
And then now the vibe just started. Now we're bumping the Selection and the K-Janada music. Now it's lit, right? You know what I mean? There's photographers in the room, there's artists, there's, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, like everybody's vibing to this sound, you know what I mean? But it's trap-ish, obviously, because it's K-Janada and the whole, all of that sound. And then I go to A-Kings again. I was like, bro, Kunju, why did we throw this party? He's like, yeah, Kunju, we're trying to answer that question. And then he turns around and he goes, you know what makes us different? We're African.
Yeah.
He's like, that's the only thing that makes us different. The only thing that separates us from them is not talent, it's not resource, it's not... They're American and we're African.
We're African, yeah.
So I'm like, so what do we do? He calls me Malome. He's like, Malome, we make this music, but we make it sound African.
Okay.
I'm like, fuck yeah, right? But the hard now thing is that, mind you, we loved that sound so much, right? To emulate it is difficult because what those guys do is very difficult, right? So we started off with like a few beta tracks. I think we did like about 100 and something songs that we just threw away, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we were trying to capture that,
right,
you know what I mean? It was hard, dude, because we didn't want to copy, right? We didn't want to copy anyone. I remember in the beginning stage, someone was like, you guys are almost like Boom Shaka, right? But Boom Shaka in the 21st century, like Boom Shaka, like millennial Boom Shaka,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but how do we take that Maskandi so that but how do you put trap on that?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's different. You can't just throw 808 on that song and a few hi-hats and a few snares.
Call it a day.
And call it a day. And then we started figuring out that it's not about making the songs. We have to make a groove. We have to design. We have to be inspired to do it. It has to come to us. You know what I mean? That's when I sat that night. There was a few nights after that. This is like, I think a year after that party, that whole thing that we found out.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's a thing that's ringing in my mind. You know what I mean? Hey, and I'm like, okay, but that comes from that whole yeah. I was like, okay, but how do I now make that into trap?
You're gonna make it originally you.
Yeah, bro. So if you guys go on SoundCloud, there's a track we did as African bass guitar called Monate. So that song started everything.
Question.
Yeah. So
one last question.
Also, you're asking how the sound evolved. It evolved because we started realizing that one thing that African bass was ahead.
Yeah.
So every single time we see that people are starting to catch up, that's when our Ambitious came out, right? Yeah. When they're trying to catch up, we were like, nah, let's keep on going ahead. So we had to kind of leave trap alone.
Yeah.
But when dip into some London house, dry house, and try to see if we can make that happen. Yeah. We failed at that, like we failed at the first time. Yeah. It took us a few years, and then we just kept going ahead. And now the sound that I'm doing right now is, like, that indie sound, that Kichinada Zikomo sound. It's actually cool.
By the way, I love the mixes. I remember at Bucket List when you played.
Yeah, when I played
got
the mixes.
all of us freaking
crazy.
Jumping and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Even to the point where, like, I also got other guys who like really fuck with like the Kichinada sound.
Yeah.
And like I said, that European house or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Is this a Kichinada mix?" I'm like, "No, you see the guy that's DJing in the back over there?
Yeah.
That's all his music, you know what I mean? We're at his house like 2 nights before, like to
practicing,
all that kind
practicing
of
the
stuff.
set. I remember, and that was an amazing night, dude. Like, I had so much fun that night because that was the first time I presented everything I listened to. Like, a lot of people on my live, people know that the vibe I'm about, and they always hear the songs because I always like pop songs. But that was the first time I actually put all of it together and presented with my own music in the middle. So, my boy, I think it's just all about, and that genre I found out is actually called future beats.
I wouldn't label it as that. It sounds weird.
It sounds weird, but that's
it
what
sounds like something like Avicii would be doing.
Yeah, that's what they call it though. That's what our Kichinada and them call it. They call it future beats.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's called future beats. I'm a future beats guy. But it is not as easy as it sounds, my boy, because one thing I've learned about this sound is that you are creating a groove, not a song.
True.
You're creating a vibe, not a song.
Yeah.
Now, dude, you have to be able to, when you make that song, to already see Untumbi losing her mind and be like, you have to see it, bro. You know
so here's a question though: do you make the music for the ladies over there? Do you get that like rush as well when you're on the track and you see I'm a girl that dances to this thing like that? You know, I get it as well. Like I'm like DJing and stuff like that. When I see the niggas dancing, it's the niggas. But when I get the whole thing, that's when I know. Especially if it's a song that I've done, I'm like, this is a hit.
I think
this is the one.
You know what who I make the music for? I make the music for the the person I'm making music for.
Be careful about this answer though.
Yeah. Is for Dante 8 years ago, who didn't know what I know now.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm making music for. Because if I had seen myself, if I had seen that I was going to be making this kind of music, like, dude, I would be... myself 8 years ago is looking at me right now like, that guy's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Because somehow, in some reason, it just led me to this point. When I started making that sound, I was like, this is why I went through all of that production. This is why I even went through African Bass Cartel and left. I needed to meet the sound. It's the hardest thing to make. And mind you, dude, you've been producing for years as well.
Yeah.
Making a dope song is like nothing, dude. I can make a dope song now.
Right now, yeah.
But to make a vibe and like put that in a song, that is the hardest thing to do. It is literally, bro, I can make a lot of music, rock music, but to create future beats for me is the hardest thing. But I love it. It's my life. Bro. That's the sound that I want to do.
One thing I want to also just mention, bro, I appreciate your drip.
Yes.
Every time I see you, you're
always... I don't have the grills right now.
I was about to even talk about that, but anyway, you're always dripped out from head to toe. You got your hair done, got the clothes done, always in the gym and everything like that. But now I want to talk about your accessories, your watches specifically.
Oh, yes. My watch.
out of all your watches, which one is your favorite watch?
The one I have on right now.
All right, can you tell me a little bit about that?
This was a birthday gift from my mom. Yeah? It's a tempo timepiece. I used to have so much information about this watch because I used to love it. It's just a simple tempo timepiece. The reason I liked it is because it's sportsy and it looks swag.
You know what I mean? It looks like one of those like Swiss Army knives.
Exactly.
But
So
at the same
it's sportsy. It's also sporty, but it's also swag and it's water resistant. You know what I mean? So like you could be like in the club there and be like, "Wow, call on my watch." Yeah. That's the rapper.
Actually, what I love, I saw the advert with Lil Wayne, right? When he got it was like Huawei or whatever thing that sponsored him, so he got the first like water resistant phone. So he would take like a bottle of champagne and just pour it on the whole time.
That's the only reason why I did it. Like, 'cause obviously I was a rapper as well, so I also want to flex. That's why I also like love drip so much.
Yeah.
Because also like the reason why I drip out the way I drip out now is because this is how I wanted to look when I was in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember like, you remember when you put like foil on your teeth and like fake growth?
Thank God I had braces. I had braces back in high school, so I already had growth.
We used to do shit like that, but like I remember like we used to do shit like that. I remember thinking to myself, I was like, guys, if I get older and have any amount of guap, I'm gonna ice myself out like crazy. You know what I mean? So that's why I love drip. That's why I love the way I look right now. Honestly, is the way I wanted to look when I was in high school. I just wasn't allowed to look like that because of school when I was my age. But the tags, the drip, the clip, everything. I look exactly how I wanted to look when I was like 16.
Sorry for like just taking over now.
So good.
I've been always
We need to change now to the next topic.
Yeah.
So
I've been always wanted to ask.
make your point, Bongo.
I've been always wanted to ask Dante these questions, but I never had like these one-on-one
Go.
conversations.
You know what? We are as fanboys.
Must I switch? Must I get on?
Yeah, you want to switch?
Producer, can I get on? Just give me the hints. All
Switch.
right.
I don't have to switch.
Let me give 10 minutes with Dante.
Give me some ganj.
5 minutes with Dante. All right.
One time.
Okay, cool. Hi guys, Ultralord.
What's up?
Okay, so we got a show that we want to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hiring you, headlining act. You can get 3 artists to open for you, internationally and locally. Who are your 3 artists? And that's anybody. Budget is unlimited. We can get anybody we can want.
First and foremost, rap. First and foremost, Kate Trinata.
Okay.
No joke.
Yeah.
I'm getting Kate Trinata on the jam. No joke.
All right.
Right? Can they be like dead or alive?
Let's make it hard. Alive. Only alive.
Okay, alive. Second guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't do Zikomo and Kate Trinata because they both have the same sound.
You know what I mean? You gotta diversify.
You gotta diversify.
You got a whole night. You gotta play.
Firstly, would be Kate Trinata. Kate Trinata would open it, like, because he'd kill it.
Okay. So early though. I wouldn't put K so early. But it's your show.
It's my show. Secondly, it has to be Super Mega. Definitely, AKA.
I'm not gonna agree with that.
Bruh, it's my show.
It's your show.
Get out of my show.
I ain't gonna agree with you with that one, but it's not my show.
Super mega, dog. It's your Kate Trinata, AKA, and the third act.
Remember, this is the one playing before you, so you gotta.
Yeah, this is the act before me. Okay. To be honest, I would want to get. Bro, this is hard, eh?
I know.
This is extremely hard.
That's why I want to ask you this question.
Because I did international, man.
Yeah.
I did local.
Yeah.
This is very difficult. If I'm going to shoot just at the top of my head. I did international, I did local.
Would you want to do like that foreign sound, like K-pop or something like that?
No.
K-pop, the K-pop boys are they're popping right now. 255 million views in like
I would
one
do.
night.
I'm gonna make it sound very random. Nah, I'm gonna make it sound very random. Makolumpita.
Yeah, those guys are dope though.
Yeah, Makolumpita. Like, yeah, because I went international, then I went like local, but now I want to like
super local now.
resident like here. You know what I mean? To be fair, I'd say you and Enzo. Yeah, but that's
you don't have to sugarcoat
yeah,
that on our own show.
You know
I'm sorry.
I was looking for like a local guy. I definitely do Makolumpita, bro. I love what they're doing. Like, honestly, I've always loved their sound. And
then Jaka, let me even tell you about them. Their work ethic is on like an impressive point.
Dude, right?
They used to waiter at like a restaurant. I'm not going to mention the name because they're not sponsoring us, so you're not going to get that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And like, every time they tell me when I used to go over there, it's like, dude, I need a tip because I need to like pay for studio time or need a tip to pay for clothing. I'm like,
that's work ethic,
right
here.
take my
You know what I mean, dog?
No,
I haven't
yeah.
gotten a chance to work with them. I see them a lot in the city, but bro, yeah, those guys, bro. So I think it would be definitely K Shinada. It would be definitely AKA.
Yeah.
Lemakholo Peter. Yeah, definitely.
Nice. I would not even know, like, if I had to get like a event, because I know too many artists.
That's the thing, that's
well.
the thing. So you just want to like just make it as interesting as possible.
Yeah. All right. One, producer, how much time do I have? I can keep on. All right. So check it out. COVID just hit. We are in like level 1 right now. In Welkom it's level 0 because we've
been at level 1 since level 5.
We don't even know what level 5 is. Honestly, it was just like the president telling us like the alcohol is closed.
What are you saying? Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like people still buying alcohol and still buying everything.
The next cost too much. You don't know who's watching.
I wanted to say something, but I just remembered.
Yeah, so you say COVID, yeah?
So COVID now is at this point where now the restrictions are loosening up and everything like that. Are you planning on going back? Are you joining this like hashtag DJ, book a DJ, book a artist trend that's going on around social media? Or are you still on this like you're going to be a little bit more low-key until everything goes like 100% quiet?
You know, but truly, first of all, I'm just happy that everybody got through. The people that got through COVID got through it. I'm just happy that a lot of the people that I know got through COVID. God bless everyone in that regard.
Shout out.
What I'm gonna do, man? The thing is, the planning of AFRODON, myself, man, Dante, Benny, Paladi, Mukwe. I'm of 3 brands, right? It is my lifestyle brand, which is Vibe Different.
Yeah.
It is AFRODON, which is the music, and then it is Forex Cartel, right? So I've been for the past 2 years like nurturing these 3 brands.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm going to be honest, man, I'm going to let everything like first everybody settle in, and then I'm going to pop, because in order for my sound to in order for my sound to hit it at its best, needs a tremendous amount of capital. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm currently working on right now. The tremendous amount of capital. You know what I mean? We'll jump into the Forex thing with D, but I'll just put it lightly and say it like this. The thing that I'm also so lucky for is that I was given obviously many talents. And as COVID was doing what it was doing, luckily the markets were still open. Yeah. So I've been doing quiet planning, because now, after now COVID, everybody's going to want to get back at it in the most fastest of ways. Flood the market, right?
Yeah.
Flood the market with what has been missing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just going to wait for everybody to chill out, everybody to get back on their feet.
That's one of the things about being like a famous country. I gotta get calls and everything. I'm gonna ask like one last question
sure.
before I go, and then I'll let D take it over. I don't know if you know, but like next week we're starting the Tarantula King Tour.
Oh shit, right?
Yeah.
I
don't know if you got the broadcast and everything.
No, I haven't, bro, but that's dope.
So what our plan was, we're gonna hit up every local Shabin, every local club, everything from Welkom, Virginia, and Princeton. Especially because now we know guys like Fuego from the Blue Dot Room and all that kind of stuff.
Shout out to Fuego.
Shout out to him as well. So, are you gonna jump on the TK tour?
Why not, bro? Let's do it. I think if you not even I think, if I know all the details, bro, let's do it. Why not? AFRODON will join that tour. Also, like to be honest, bro, I love what you guys are doing, dude. You know what I mean? I think the reason why I've always been a fan of the brand is because you're doing exactly what I had wanted to do if I didn't hit up Joburg. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're killing it in a tremendous way, bro. So,
killing it.
Am I killing it? You're killing it.
Am I killing it?
That's an invite, my boy. I'll do it. Let AFRODON jump on that tour.
No, like for real, because one thing that I had an issue, especially in this area that I stay in. Like I was blessed a couple of years ago to move out to Bloemfontein. I got a job at Tom's. I worked at Stresso Altabek. The studio for the people who don't know Afrikaans. I was one of those guys. And when I saw how they worked over there, now mind you, these are guys who stay in dorm rooms, who are living on 500 rand a month and stuff like that, but they managed to pull together to get sound. They managed to pull together to get that one guy who had a studio, which also happened to be me. And I saw how they pushing. And I wanted to push the same way here. And earlier before you got here, I was in an interview with Debas as well. Debas is a guy who, I don't know if you heard about the activation, Unlock the Activation party that happened previous this weekend.
Like here in Welkom?
In Welkom at the Don nightclub.
Oh, no,
which was quite dope. which was quite dope and everything. And like, it brought a lot of people out and I saw the potential. And I was telling them, this is the same thing I was doing from bucket list.
Yeah.
And now I'm pushing to the point now I'm opening my doors to every single club, every single Shabin, every single Tarman in here. Because now I'm not just trying to focus on like I don't know if it's a bad business model on my side, but I truly believe right now I cannot be focusing on like every show that I do I need to get paid per se.
At this point in time.
At this point right now. Why I started like the daily calendar, the Ultralord show and all that kind of stuff is that like I need to build myself an online presence enough when I say to somebody my booking fee is 20,000 rand.
And they ask you why.
Why? And I just say Google me.
Yeah, just Google me. Check out my numbers.
Everything that I've done pops up.
The internet is important, especially right now. Very important. Very important.
Like I was even talking to Talefa, the guy who sponsors us for the Good Music Sunday.
Yeah.
He told me that like, look, he gets a tender of 2.2 million to do like candlelight Topakisa.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That is a huge tender. And he walks away with a lot of that money because he owns the sound. He owns
it's his stuff. It's in-house.
You know what I mean? So he doesn't have to outsource jack shit.
It's in-house.
And he walks away with all the money. Now he said, I asked him about like, okay, yo, shit, dog. I see you about like, you're about the artist.
Yeah.
You're always about, because he's the one who even approached me to do the Good Music Sundays, you know, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And he's like, because I could find you, that's why I want you to be part of this team.
Because I could just simply find you. Yeah.
Right.
The internet is crazy dope right now, my boy.
You know? And now, not even half of the artists, like none of the artists I have ever met right now are not even focusing on this. They are like, I need to get booked, I need to get paid, and all that stuff. I'm like, yes, that's important, but not now. And his words were saying, I would book more artists to be on these big lineups.
If I could find them.
Not even if you can find them. Even if you can or cannot find them, put like unknown artists on. That's a 2.2 million rand risk that he's not willing to take. Because at the end of the day, he starts supporting that money because
he has to get something
government.
out. Exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Thanks, Enzo. Love you, Enzo.
Shout out to Enzo.
Shout out to Enzo.
Enzo DJ.
So that's why I keep telling people like, yo, the internet's so important. Like your TV and your radio
bro,
that
was old school, dude. Right now, bro, if we want to see if you're good, or if you're presentable, we just go to your Instagram page once. You know what I mean? Yeah. So your presence online is your presence like offline, so to say. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're better online than you are anywhere else. That's where people actually get to see you from afar and from near. So artists need to focus on that. I'm not even going to dispute that point, though.
The producers gave me 2 minutes and they're all bad, so I guess.
So I don't
keep going. Man.
You can just keep going up, bro. No, shoot if you want to shoot.
Man, I have like so many questions. It's actually been a dream come true.
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it.
No homo, but it's like a wet dream.
This is let's go, bro.
Swag.
We're still live.
Yeah, we're still 100% live and everything like that. What are your like? How much do you know about like what's happening locally around? Let's just say Welkom, per se. Who do you know that's popping, or who do you know that's?
I keep my head down a lot because like what I'm trying to plan, bro, is big. But like I can go into like what's this like artists, right? And I'm talking about like the arts, not just guys who are singing and not just musicians.
Let's go like it's art regardless what you're doing.
Art. Bro, one guy right now I cannot get enough of in terms of like his content is Bacon, bro. The photographer.
Oh yeah. From We Live. From that, yo man.
Bro, Bacon is. I met him last weekend. Yeah, I met him last weekend at Sidebar. Yeah. Right, I've been speaking to him on Facebook for like a few weeks now. Just like message here there, but I met him at Sidebar, bro. Mm-hmm. That boy's eye, dog. That boy's eye is incredible. Like photography, he is intense, bro. You know what I mean? He reminds me of Mokhale. Is it Mokhale? It's not. The guy who does Cloud Cassette.
Yeah.
Yeah, he reminds me of Mokhale stuff. Like, I don't know if just go check Cloud Cassette. Mokhale does that stuff. And I even said to Bacon, I was like, bro, start dabbing into video. You know what I mean? Because Welkom, just like any other place, just has like this talent that just pops up out of nowhere. And that talent is coming with heat.
In my opinion, there is an industry over here. It just hasn't been tapped yet.
Yeah, it hasn't been tapped. And there's a lot of capital running in and around Welkom. As a Welkom artist, you can actually get yourself in a situation where you actually can get paid quite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just have to figure it out well and know the right people from everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So right now, I'm the guy who's really doing it big for me right now. Has to be Bacon. I mean, apart from the whole of Ultralord, you know what I mean? But it has to be Bacon.
Like, I don't have to suck my dick that hard.
No, bro, you guys are doing some great work, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Like, think of who else is doing it like this.
not anyone
Not,
that I know
exactly.
of. Yeah.
So you guys are just platforming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So apart from you guys, it has to be Bacon, bro. That guy is. I don't know what camera that guy used. I don't know what his eyes are doing, but that bro sees angles, and it's. I can't get enough of his photography, bro. Yeah, it has to be him.
It's actually quite even dope that the fact that he lives like just up the road.
Yeah, he just lives up here.
It took me like 4 years. We've been passing each other. We didn't know who
He's
he
sick,
was,
bro.
you know what I mean?
Even when it comes down to the swag and drip, like, yo, bro, for me to see a guy who is also pushing drip like that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, dude, he's incredible. He's dope. He's a dope dude.
I love that. I see Dean is looking at me like he wants to switch right now. Talk a little bit about the Forex and all that kind of stuff. So
Let's do it.
I'm gonna go back to be the ghost dude behind the lens.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, my boy. That was like dope line of questioning.
Your mother's favorite producer, everyone. I love it when we've got people like the Ultralord becoming little fanboys.
From school days, actually.
Sign my boom.
I absolutely love it, and that just gives you the extent of the artist that we have right here, and the kind of person that we have in the studio right now. We've all been watching you throughout the years, and we've all been kind of critiquing you from behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
you guys have to. You must.
And this is cool, you know what I mean? We've all been in school together, we all fanboys, and we love what you do, you know what I mean? And I think like Bongo said, we would love you on the Tarantula Kings.
The tour,
yeah, please, bro.
I mean, you'll count me in,
part of the team.
Yeah, count me in for that.
Part of the team. This is now the last little bit of the interview that we're going to be doing. So
I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch the line of questioning now, and we're gonna go a little bit from. We've heard about where you come from and what you've been doing this last while, and we've spoken a little bit too little about Vibe Different and all of the media platforms that you're doing. Please, guys, go check it out. It speaks for itself.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Vibe Different
And
everywhere.
yeah,
Vibe Different everywhere, bro.
you do have a different vibe.
I'm a boy.
You're a strange motherfucker.
I am that guy.
I love it. And so the line of questioning that we're going to go into right now is just pretty much a little bit of political questions. What's happening with the world right now, with our country. I would like to start on because we've been trading Forex, the two of us, this last while, and we've been on the markets.
Yes, that's true.
Let's talk a little bit about the Biden-Trump elections right now, and their whole little bit of a...
That's just hectic that side.
Holy shit.
You know what? I always say this to a lot of guys, and you know when you trade Forex, now I'm speaking as a trader now.
Yes. Now there's no more musician. Now
no
we're
musician.
traders, boys.
Yeah, now we're talking as
now we actually.
Bro, I can only speak from a Forex trader perspective. So meaning in that sense, I can only speak from the guy who analyzes, right?
Yeah.
I'm an analyzer first.
You're an analytical trader.
I'm all about. It's not about fundamentals for me.
Yeah.
It's literally about technicals, right?
Yes.
So speaking from a technical perspective, technicals are technicals in Forex. They always respect. Forex will always respect its technicals. However, what Trump and them are doing that side is they fluctuating and they're making the market go up and down and they're making it look weird, right? So my opinion, I never really care about political stuff. I just care what it does to the market, right? It's a hard time to be trading right now. You know what I mean? We came out of a pandemic, you know what I mean? And then now after that, now we have to be dealing with whatever is happening overseas in America, right?
Because this is the thing right now that I've seen as well. Everything that before COVID hit, you thought was right and that was the way to do it, is no more. It's no
not the
longer
same,
the way. You know what I mean?
Technicals are technicals, you know what I mean? But like, you must understand, these world leaders are
it's politically based.
They're shifting the market.
This
and
is what's happening.
I don't know who's winning at that point, but all I try to do, like I said, I can only speak as a Forex trader, is to keep to my plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's all I know. You know what I mean? All I know is what I do, and to be very honest, I don't really focus too much on fundamentals, because if I did, then I would be really screwing myself over. So what I do is I keep my head down. I know what's going on, but I don't let that really mess with my method and my strategy and how the way that I trade at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's to stick to my guns, the guns that I know work at the best.
Yeah.
That's all I do, bro, to be very honest with you. Yeah, that's what I do.
Well, you brought up the other day that Ghana, and we were talking about Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. was saying that Forex is going to be what's going to help us young people break out into economical trip. Why would you say that South Africa is a country that is sleeping on Forex? You know what I mean?
To be honest, it's not that we're even sleeping, my boy.
We all think that it's a get rich quick kind of a thing. And
That's
we
the
all
problem.
think that,
Everybody's jumping. No, South Africa is one of the highest, fastest growing likings into trading, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Ghana. I could be wrong. I stand to be corrected. It's either Ghana or Nigeria. But the president, it's one of these smaller type of countries. The president was like, yo, the youth really needs to start tapping into the financial markets and the Forex markets, foreign exchange markets, because the way things are going right now, the money is running out by hand.
Job creation,
right?
There's no more jobs.
Bro, I honestly, and who said this to me? I can't remember. Maybe it was, I don't know who said this to me, but it's always been a quote I repeat. I say, right now, yeah, if you're not trading right now, in 10 years, you're going to have to trade.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, the way things are going right now, in 10 to 15 years, everybody's going to have to know how to trade.
Yeah.
So I'd rather start and struggle right now with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you must understand, bro, that it is a market of which money can be created at a large scale, depending on if you know what you're doing.
And it's one of the lowest inset cost startup companies that you could ever.
Bro,
I mean,
if
you say to yourself $100 is what you need your FICA documents, you need your 3-month bank statements, all of the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
But where could you start a business with 3,000 rand?
And literally grow it. Like it eliminates the middleman. Yeah. The only reason why, part reason why I did Forex, it's because of, I think, about 2-3 reasons. The first reason was I do not want to be at the hands of anybody when it comes to my passion in music.
Yeah.
I don't want to be signed. I have no interest in being signed. I've been approached to be signed. I have no interest in those deals. None of them. There was one that offered me a really big deal, but it was a 360 deal. I do not want to be signed. You know what I mean? I do not want to be signed. And the reason behind that is because I've been doing music for a while, so I also understand the music business behind everything.
Yeah.
I do not want to be told what to do and when to do, especially with something I was born with.
Yeah.
So that's why I started trading, number one. Number two, I started trading because family, you know what I mean? I want to make a substantial amount of money.
I mean, we all mama's boys.
I'm a mama's boy, you know what I mean?
We want to see mama pulling up in the Range Rover,
you know what
pulling
I mean?
up to a nice house.
Yeah, because I mean,
that's
I like
really
nice
what it comes down to.
It's okay to like nice things, you just have to work for them.
Yeah.
Third and lastly is because I want to start something that my great-great-grandson is going to continue. Yeah. But it has to start with me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it has to.
So, and also, bro, no one is going to give us the gold.
No.
In fact, the people who have it don't really want to let it go and they don't really want to separate with it. Bro, I don't want to be told what to do. I know myself. So what did I do? I'm just putting myself into a corner where I'm my own boss. I work at my own time, my own whatever. So that at the end of the day, my money is my money. Yeah. My losses are my losses. My wins are my wins. And I blame no one but myself.
And guys, this is what this whole podcast was about. Young entrepreneurs, young individuals, breaking away from that deep grip in which our country kind of fools you into, it lulls you into a false state of security, saying, get yourself a job, make debt. And this is the problem. We need to become self-efficient. We need to become self-sustaining as a country. And
self-aware.
You know what? This is where I'm coming from right now, is that our biggest issue right now is jobs, lack of jobs.
Funding, yeah.
Young entrepreneurs like ourselves is what's going to create job creation. And this is the way that I would like to say, yes, it's going to be difficult. Yes, it's going to be the road less taken. But at the end of the day, like you say, the only person that can point fingers at you if all else fails is you.
It's me. Yeah.
You are going to be, the attitude in which you apply is going to be the altitude in which you fly.
Yes, definitely.
And Robert Kiyosaki said it, especially with the trading as well. We've got to change the way that we look at trading. The phoenix flies into the sun, and the wax melts off of his wings.
Yeah.
But the snowball rolls down the hill and it gets bigger.
So
this is what we want to do. We want to snowball our investments. We want to snowball our little bit of funding that we have as young people. And you know what? What's a better way than to be your own boss, to sit at home and analyze the markets, to work with the markets. And let me tell you guys, this is what I kept on saying to myself. If there's anyone that's going to benefit from these markets, I want it to be me. I don't want to be the person sitting on the sideline saying, you know, I wish I did, I wish I could.
Yeah.
I want to be that person saying, I've tried it all, even if it fails.
Even if it fails.
And this is an important topic that I want to get in, especially people.
Yeah, he died.
It died.
I swapped it over, don't worry.
Oh,
so
did you?
we still got it going.
Okay.
Fail. To the youth of our nation, to the young entrepreneurs that are struggling out there, guys, be open to failure. We are all gonna fail,
You
and
cannot succeed without it.
dudes, you know what? I know it seems horrible, but your parents have been telling you your entire lives, guys, you cannot fail. You cannot do badly at this test. You cannot fail your exams. You cannot botch this freaking job interview. Guys, what I'm trying to say to you is it's okay to fail. I'm sitting with my guy Dante here, and I think if anything, he's failed in his life many times. But through all, consistency prevails. Just as in the markets, we strive for the road to consistency.
Yeah, you have to keep going because the true failure, right? True failure is when you stop.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's true failure.
I keep on saying to my girlfriend, you know what, babe, we might not have all the money, might not have the Mercedes and the beautiful house in Cape Town next to the beach, but when I stop trying,
that's when you fail.
That's when you've got to start kicking me in the nuts. When I stop coming up with plans, when I stop working,
when I stop wanting to go at it, and
when I stop wanting it,
yeah, that's when I fail.
That's when you got to kick me. You know what I mean? And us being friends, I would want the same from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
When you stop being who you want to be, and when you stop being who I think you are, and who you've been pushing, who you've been portraying to be, I'm gonna kick you.
You must have, like, there's no. Here's my thing, right? I was saying to you the other day.
We gotta kick our youth. We gotta kick our friends.
Kick ourselves, right?
Like,
I was saying to you the other day. I was like, I'm not talented musically, whatever the case may be. No. My true talent is never giving up.
Never giving up.
That's, you know what I mean? That's what I'm good at. I'm good at not giving up. I'm not good musically. That's just an ability I've learned over time.
Relentless.
No, I'm relentless
as
bro. Like, I will not, and I cannot, and I don't even see myself getting to that. I'm probably gonna die trying.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what separates you from the guy who says they want it and the guy who just really just shuts up about it and gets it done.
100%.
Stop saying you're not good enough. No. No one is good enough. The only way we can test how great you are is if you keep going.
Yeah.
That's the only way, dude. So, I was telling you, like, bro, if you want to test how good I am, right, see how long I've kept trying.
Exactly.
And then ask me how long I'm trying to go. Bro, like,
amen.
It is not an option. So
that's what I was saying, a 5-year plan. People underestimate what a 5-year plan is. People underestimate what getting famous is, what getting...
You're in your 5-year plan, bro. Every single 5 years, you were in your 5-year plan.
Amen. Amen. And you know what? You've got to embrace failure.
Yeah.
You've got to embrace failure as a byproduct of success. And it's flipped over, but that's exactly what it comes from, is failure is the byproduct of success. They walk hand in hand, just like life and death. It says in the Bible we need to die in order to live.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with financial wealth. It's the same thing with spiritual wealth. It's the same thing with...
you have to fail, bro. It's just part of the
You
process.
need to fail. So,
you gotta take the hits. You gotta take the hits. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, guys, and find something. And this is the one thing that I think reigns true with you, is you found something that you believe in. You found something that you're passionate in. You found something that you love. And the nice thing is, just doing what you love is success enough. Just doing what you love is...
You're already successful.
You're already successful, and this is what I keep on saying. Like,
in your life.
it's okay to cut off and to part ways with something. And this is what we were talking about this the other day, my girlfriend and I said to her, babe, you know what? It's okay to say, you know what, this isn't working anymore. I'm gonna move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Cut ties.
Cut your losses early.
You know what I mean? And this is one of the things that us as a country doesn't understand. We would rather be working a job for 20 years and be unhappy, but you're still getting all of your shit paid, than saying, look, I'm going to put everything on the line and I'm going to seek that next level of success.
People are more comfortable with wasting 40 years of their life than wasting 4 years on something that actually means something.
100%.
Yeah, so.
You know, I sat down with people the other day, and this is coming from a mathematical point of view, and it's actually a lot of people don't say this to themselves, but if I save 10% of my salary every single month, which is a lot. If you've got debit orders, you've got debt to pay, you've got 10% of your salary, that's a big chunk. If you save 10% for an entire year, you have still only saved your 1 month's salary. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here with a gentleman that chased his dream. Long story short is what I'm trying to say is chase your dream. Yeah. There's no failure in chasing your dream.
And find streams of money, bro. Like, you can imagine, like, what does Forex have to do with music?
Absolutely nothing.
But
diverse.
Diverse. Everything is online, bro. I think even Bongo would attest to this. Everything is online. Literally. You could Google how to make money and learn how to make money.
That's literally how I started with Forex. I started with you.
Yeah.
You came to me and you said, my boy, you've been working in Hong Kong, you've done all these things, like you've been busy. Like, let me show you. And honestly, my first reaction was a little bit skeptical. Until I got into it and I started seeing the knowledge I've chosen.
It's endless, bro.
It's endless.
And especially for the artists, but especially for the young entrepreneurs and artists, like, if you're wondering what to do and how to get your content out there, bro, you need capital. You all need capital.
You need that steady source of income.
It says we have a minute left. Alright. I don't know, you can carry us out.
I think we've covered all of the points that I wanted to, more or less. The only thing that I didn't get into was what's happening in our country right now with
politically and stuff.
And with this farm murder with this young guy, and it's really bad, first of all. But I think us as a generation that sets us apart from the older generation is that we don't see a black guy that's died. We don't see a Chinese guy that's died. We don't see a white guy that's died. We just see that a young South African has died in a terrible way. This is
at his place of work.
This is unacceptable.
It is unacceptable.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And this is just the message that I want to leave you guys on. We all struggling out here. We all trying to make our mark in our country, in our lives, in our family. We all trying to leave that little bit of a legacy. Let us change our way of thinking. When it comes to political views, when it comes to entrepreneurial views, when it comes to our dreams, balls to the walls, guys.
Balls to the walls.
Balls to the fucking walls. You are 100% into it, or you are 100% out of it. That's the way that I see it. And I'm sitting with a gentleman that's 100% into it. You are in it to win it. There's no faking. There's no misleading. You are who you are, and that is 100% who you are. And you know what? If more of us South Africans came together and we did exactly what the fuck we wanted, whenever we wanted, how we wanted, there would be a lot more successful people out there. Stop being a sheep, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Get up and do it, bro.
Yo, walk the fucking road your own, you know what I mean? Yeah. But, thank you very much.
The last thing I'm going to say, if I'm going to give any piece of advice, it's not going to be that long. I'm going to keep it very short.
Vibe difference.
Any shout-outs you have to say? Say it to the camera.
Shout-outs to everybody watching this. Shout-outs to everybody watching this. Shout-outs to everybody who's supporting me, Ultralord, anybody from Welkom, and everybody else. Like I said, vibe different.
Thank you very much. Yo. From your man, the Dean, the man.
Thank you so much, brother.
It's a pleasure. I always love talking to you. It's always nice being with you.
This is dope.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.